Hello friends, I'm Avinash. Today we are going to discuss how to attach a disk using a snapshot. So what do we mean by this? So we create a disk and we take the snapshot of the disk, and after taking a snapshot, we create a new disk and then attach it to the VM. So in our example, we have a data disk on one of the cloud platform. One of the disk on the virtual machine, and we created some folder. And then after creating folder, we take the snapshot. As you can see, the VM, and this is the data disk persistent disk. And then we took the snapshot of this disk, and then we created another VM. And then basically from the snapshot disk, we'll attach it to the another VM. So whatever the folder created on before taking the snapshot should be available on the disk created on the new VM. So we will demonstrate this. As you can see, like we will follow the following steps. We'll create the Windows VM, we'll add the disk, create folder, and then we'll create the snapshot, and then we'll create the new VM, and then we add the data disk on the snapshot, and then folders created on the Windows 2. So to see this, we'll go to the VM console. Sorry, the chip console on the board. So this is the machine. And now before we log on to the machine, we create one disk. Then by default, there's a disk available from the machine already there. So we create one disk, like a blank disk. We call it disk one, single zone. So as always, keep South Carolina, blank disk, balanced persistent disk for a standard persistent disk. We keep it 20 gigabyte. Snapshot schedule, we will discuss it later in the later session. And then we keep it everything default. If you want to add a label, you can add the label to the disk. We already discussed what the label can be used for. If you have experience with Jira, then probably would know, like you can it's sort of like a name value pair where you can use them for searching, or you can create or sort of like, there are various. But for now, let's just focus on our disk and created this. And have a new disk created, 20 gigabyte disk. And now before we take a snapshot, we need to attach the VM1. Like this is what we have. So first we have to basically create this part of the demo where we there. So if I go to Windows 1, and I click edit, attach existing disk. If I want to create a new disk, I can this option, but we can do it for attach. We can Uh, Sorry, probably created my disk in a different region, your central one. So, okay, so we don't have any disk, so I probably will use the, sorry, friends, we create the new disk, the same, the blank disk, no schedule, blank persistent disk or standard persistent disk, size again 20 gigabyte. So the reason it was not available because this particular region is created in different region. So this is why the disk one we created on the disk is not available. As we have selected, it's only the regional view that can only pick up the resources same region, not from any other region. So we have to be very careful when we select the region. So this is a very good example here. So based on the disk name, and we say read write, keep this. We'll keep this. We'll keep the disk because we have to attach it to the. Because we can use it in another demo, and then we are done here. Okay, the new disk, 20 gigabyte additional disk, we have added successfully, and then we save it. A little taking more than expected. Okay, so finally this is done. So we have disk and disk two. And now let's log on to our machine. We need to set the password first. Set Windows password. Okay, let's copy. Close it. Open RD. Type in our page 100. As you can see, we are successfully logging onto the machine. The disk configuration. We go to disk management. Like this one we created available here, 20 gigabyte. Online already, so new simple volume, D drive, perfect. And now we basically go to Explorer. And this we have our volume gigabyte, and we create folder. Data 1, data 2, three. In the root folder, I can only create folder here. I can create some file, text document. Okay, keep it here, this test, and save it. So now we are done. Now, basically, if I want to go and see the volume D, I have three folders. Inside data 1, there is a rich text. Now, what we have to do? So we go back to the console, go back to disk. So this is the disk we create and map to our Windows 1. Now let's take the snapshot. The snapshot. We can call it a snapshot 1, snapshot of disk, regional, US Central 1, Iowa. We have to remember the region. So it's regional. And we create it. It will be available in the snapshot. So now the most interesting part, we'll use the snapshot. Let's see if we can use the snapshot to add the disk when we are creating the VM itself. So this size, this, and the real size of the snapshot is 24.38 KB. So if I take another snapshot of the same disk, so let me just go to the disk and say, and I make further change to my. So now I go ahead and make the change to the. Now here I go and I create another folder, child 1, and another text file, new text document, child file, and declare it as I'm a child. And save this file. Now what we will explore, we will try to add the disk with the snapshot 1, and now this is updated. So if we refresh it and take another snapshot of the same disk, so it's the sequential. So the one is the first snapshot will have only the folder and the one text file we created, and another snapshot will have another child folder we created. So what I want to show you, like it's a sequential. So the next snapshot we are taking of the same disk is basically a sequential approach. It will only record the changes of this compared to the snapshot 1, rather just dumping the whole lot. It will be just creating keeping the difference, so, which we can demonstrate by comparing the size of the file. So whatever I'm saying now, so I'm expecting like the second snapshot, the same disk should be smaller than the first. But in theory, if I'm dumping the whole, the second file should be bigger. Okay, that's the first thing I will come into my mind because it has got more things. But it's little clever than that. So rather keeping the whole dump, it's similar to a lot of repository where just in the next when you basically commit your changes, it's in the next commit, it only keeps the difference rather than keeping the whole repository, and every time you commit the copy of the whole repository. No, rather it will just keep it the difference. So which proves our point here. You can see 177.25 kV compared to the first one, which had less, folder and less data, but it's still bigger than the second one. So that's the snapshot we have created now. Now let's go and create a new VM. And what we will do, we can try here is probably we can add to this to the VM using the both snapshots and see the difference. Right now, I'm not sure if I can do it. If I'll have face difficulties, then it will be like a new scenario we have covered here, which will tell us like we can do, we can't do, and what will happen, whether the both folder will show the updated the copy, which means like it will show the file version like both of them, or one drive will show the content of the snapshot one, and another drive will show the content of the snapshot two. So let's go ahead and explore it. So this will be a little interesting. I have not tried it myself yet, but I'm also going to try it first time. So Windows 2, and as you can see, like I'm keeping the region same as the disk I have created. So I will create N2 4 CPU gigabyte memory, change to Windows Server, desktop experience 50 gigabyte, and now we start attaching the disk. Add new disk, disk free, balance persistent disk. Where does it fit? Snapshot. Snapshot 1, read write. And I will not change anything because it's all default. And I will say done here. We have used the snapshot 1. I go ahead and create another disk. Going to use the snapshot 2, 20 gigabyte, and the rest of the setting I will just say. So what we have done here, we have added two new disks, one the snapshot 1, another one using the snapshot 2. Although it whatever we are doing now, it surpassed the scenario we are discussing here. In the case there will be two data disks we are adding, but let's see what happens now. But the fundamentals are same. Like using the snapshot, we are creating a disk, and go ahead and create our new VM. Let me just we don't need this instance, so I can just shut it down. If we go to the disk, okay, sorry, storage disk. Now we have show me disk 3 and disk 4. Yes, this is more updated version now. Okay, so I'm hoping my VM instance is also ready now. My Windows queue. I need to set the password first. Set Windows password. Copy it, close it, open the RDP. And we just type in the IP address allocated. Guess it's still not ready. Let's wait for a few more minutes. Let's browse through the settings. So we have 2 snapshots now. In another session, we'll talk about the schedule as well. So what is inside the snapshot? The source disk 2. So whatever is in the source disk 2, wherever it is mapped. So when we take exclusively snapshot, there's a physical copy of the data on the disk at that particular time. So a snapshot is, I'm just giving a brief idea. What is the schedule? A scheduler will do. Scheduler is same as like I'm scheduling an event. If I schedule the event on this, like every hour, I want to take a copy of it. And we know that it is sequential, and then every hour it will start a copy, and then we'll have always have the fresh copy. And if we just create a disk, the final version of the snapshot of that disk, in this case, disk, then I will have the latest version of all the data that drive. So this is what the scheduler do. It just schedule the task of taking the snapshot. In case like you want a regular backup of the files on that machine, then rather storing it anywhere, you can just take a snapshot and it. And the snapshot is not like a configuration file. It's not like a physical disk. They take less space compared to like a physical disk, and comparatively is less inexpensive, hardly taking space based on the real data on the drive. It's encrypted, zipped, so they're far less size than the real disk. Even if it's the whole disk build up of 20 gigabyte disk. So let's go back to our VM instance and try to log in now. Let's double check our external IP address. The first machine saw the 224.195.168 connect, and I have machine having sorry. We go like we are connected to the machine and expecting 2 extra drive on this machine, and with the data okay, so disk management tool, and I'm keeping my finger crossed. I've got disk 1 and disk 2. So making it online. So as soon as I make it online, it's immediately available as another drive. There is no formatting involved. So I'm expecting the data should be all present there. Let's go back to the Window Explorer. The D drive, data 1, average document. This is empty, this is empty. Now E drive, we have data 1, data 2, data 3, same rich text document. And in the here, child 1, child 5. See it like how we can basically create a snapshot, and whatever the snapshot at that particular time, whatever the data was on the disk is basically included in that snapshot. And whenever the disk is created, the complete data set is available on wherever the disk is mounted. So thank you, friends. So this is the end of like how we can basically attach a disk, taking a snapshot, and then using the snapshot, create a new disk on the another VM, and seeing like whatever the data was there on the disk, the parent disk is available on the disk created using the snapshot. Thank you, friend. Hope you like the session, and I'll see you next time.